Hi, welcome to my channel. I didn't normally say that. I'm saying that because possibly I have some new viewers because I'm starting a brand new show. This is Anne with an E. Never heard of it before. I did read the first 2 lines, I think, or 3 lines of the description. I think it was because of the title. I was like, Anne with an E, what could that possibly be? It kind of intrigued me. The description. I didn't read it all. I just wanted to get a vague idea. And I can't even remember now, but I remember being intrigued by it. It seemed like a very different show to some other ones I've done and some other ones I'm going to do, hopefully going forward. And this is the first one. I'm going to try a bunch of shows. This is the very first one that I'm going to try, which shows you how intrigued I am of it.
What?
Of it? How intrigued I am for it. Is that right?
What the fuck?
Oh my god, English is gone. My English is gone. Never mind. I am a native speaker, I promise you. Right, so yeah, I did a YouTube poll and it got 3 votes, which definitely wasn't the highest, but it got enough votes for me to think, did I say a Patreon poll? I meant a Patreon poll. I might have said a YouTube poll. It got 3 votes on Patreon, which was enough for me to kind of still keep it in mind. But then I put it onto YouTube, a YouTube poll, and it was up against 4 others. I did a number of YouTube polls. You can see those on my community tab. Probably not really going to vote on them now though, because it's not worth it, because I'm probably not going to take any further ones into consideration. I've kind of decided now, I think. But you can see the results if you want to see that. But the one that I put Anne with an E on, because it only lets me do 5 options, it won't let me put, unfortunately. It was annoying. I had to put like 5 or 6 polls up. But yeah, so at random really. So it competed against 4 other shows at random. They were Rick and Morty, Clarkson's Farm, which is a UK show, probably hardly anyone knows about that show. The Office US, and The Boys. And I think at least 2 of those are big shows. The Boys, I'm not so sure. The Office and Rick and Morty, I'm pretty sure they're big shows. And to be honest, it trounced them all. It got 58% of the vote from 5 options. The next one down was 14%, which was The Office, which is another one I'm potentially going to try. So yeah, given that it did so well, it's definitely one that I'm going to try out. Yeah, as I said, I hardly know anything. In fact, I don't know anything because it's completely gone out of my head. But I was intrigued when I read the description, or the first few lines, like I said. Yeah, so I'm just excited to find out what it's about. It sounded very different. I remember thinking that. It sounded just very different. Like I've said this, right? I think so. Yeah, just to say that all reactions to this show will be on Patreon. The full reactions and possibly some YouTube early access edits as well. Going forward, my YouTube edits aren't going to be like super long, but hopefully at least the first few episodes of this are going to be like a normal standard reactor length, I think. I'm just going to do a lot of shows going forward, and I'm not going to have so much time to do huge edits like I used to do. But certainly this first episode, and probably a few at least. If it's really great, then I might just decide to do like really long edits, but I'm worried about new shows as well being blocked and stuff like that. So there'll be probably reaction highlights going forward after a few episodes, probably. I don't know yet. Maybe like 5 to 8 minutes in length, maybe slightly longer. I don't know. As I said, we'll see how it goes with the copyright as well. But those will be early access on Patreon as well as the full reactions. The full reactions, I blur the screen and blur the image and mute the audio. So they're sync reactions, they sync up, you line up your own copy of the show and you sync it with my reaction. So if you're interested in those at all, if that's something you've done before or that's something you're intrigued about, you can come on over to my Patreon. It'll all be explained on there. You can ask me questions about it as well and it'll be fine, I'm sure. Yeah, so that's an option. The full reactions are an option. Also, the early access ones are. I don't know how far ahead I'll be yet. I just haven't worked anything out yet, but you can go and check it out to see how far I am. They'll be shown on there. You know, you should be able to read that. I think they're reading. Yeah, I think so. I think people who aren't patrons can see where I'm at with certain shows. Anyway, yeah, hopefully this is going to be good. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it. And hopefully it's one that I'm going to do the full show of. I don't even know how many episodes there are at all. How many seasons there are episodes? No idea. But we're going to find out. So let's get to the first episode, episode number 1. Ooh. Sounds a bit sort of tribal. Is it Irish or something? Or Scottish? Wow. Galloping in the sea, that looked like. I mean, it's obviously not deep. Tides in. It's in a panic to me. Okay. I'm definitely getting kind of Celtic vibes here. The time period looks It's hard to say, maybe over 100 years ago? Anne of Green Gables, is that the title of the book? Is that a classic? In that case, it will be probably over 100 years ago. Maybe not. Maybe not that far back. Although maybe.
You want to hurry and eat, or you're to meet the train on time. You made a practical decision. We'll just have to hope for the best.
Is that the guy on the horse? He was dressed differently.
I couldn't tolerate a lazy boy. Sullen boy, no. I couldn't abide it.
Right, so he's picking up the orphan, who's a girl, isn't it? Is that
In
right?
spite of all the worry, I'm relieved to know you'll have a regular hand about the place. You coming in sometime today?
Yeah, he's not really very talkative, is he?
Since when do you sit at the table without washing your hands? You've been set on it since winter, so there's no point fretting now.
What's the accent?
Because I don't.
I think it's US, but it's kind of weird.
You be ready to set off as soon as you're finished here?
The Irish. Kind of a mix.
Bet it won't take long for Rachel to come a knocking. She's got a hunger for gossip like a person starved.
Okay, so steam trains. So what is this? Like 20s, 30s? I mean, I think there were steam trains before that actually, but getting like 20s or 30s vibes. Okay, this is the boy. Oh no, it's not. I apologise. It's a girl. I think that was deliberate, wasn't it? To reveal it is actually a girl. Oh, because she's orphan, maybe? Yeah, this is her orphan house, is it? Oh, she treated badly.
Supper on the table a half hour ago. Did you milk the cow?
Well, she's a servant.
Not yet, but give it to me. You're more trouble than you're worth. Nothing but a miserable piece of trash. Hurry up!
These poor kids. Yeah, it's brought back that trauma for sure.
I love Jane Eyre. Don't you?
I never met her.
Never met her.
I have so many more questions for you about Green Gables.
Green Gables the place or the house?
I'm bursting with curiosity.
Well, she's well read, at least. There's probably escapism in that old place, right? Oh. So yeah, I think this guy's expecting a boy, right? That's a pretty tree. We had trees like that where I lived as a kid. Does it say Bright River? Okay, so that's the town, I guess.
Afternoon.
Why is he looking so sheepish there? Yeah, he's looking for the boy, right? Oh, bless her. She's not going to be wanted in this place either.
Is there,
Little girl. Oh, you didn't see her. She's just outside. Wouldn't come in. She's a case, I should say. Heard her talking to herself out there.
I'm not expecting a girl. It's a boy. Spencer was to bring him over from the asylum for us.
From the asylum?
She's got a tongue of her own, that's for certain. Good day to you.
I quite liked him. Oh, she's so nervous.
I suppose you are Matthew Cuthbert of Green Gables. Well, I'm very glad to see you.
She's very forward, confident young girl.
I'd made up my mind that if you
she's
didn't
just
come for me, I'd
nervous.
go down the track to that big wild cherry tree and climb up into it and stay all night. I wouldn't be a bit afraid, and it would be lovely to sleep on a tree all white with bloom in the moonshine, don't you think?
How can you not fall in love with this kid?
I can also imagine that I'm already a disappointment to you.
Oh,
I'm aware that I'm not much to look at, but even though I'm thin, I'm very strong. I want you to know that I'm forever grateful that you're adopting me.
Oh.
You're a sight for sore eyes, Mr. Cuthbert.
She's winning him over.
If it isn't carried a certain way, it falls right open, so I better keep it. I've come to know the exact knack of it.
Wait, has she got something in here that she doesn't want him to see or
I
something?
am ecstatic beyond measures that I'm going to belong to you and your
The way she
sister.
talks.
Ecstatic. You and your sister are practically the stuff of fiction.
Wait, is he the bachelor?
I will strive to be just the best daughter that anybody could ever have. I'm sure that I could do it. I'm not usually brought into the house to be a daughter, so you can well imagine what a blessing this is and how much my heart is lifted.
It's almost to the point where you think, is she deliberately trying to get kicked out?
Years without the delights of a happy child and the scope of her imagination.
She's just desperate
Have you
for them to accept
always
her.
wanted a daughter? always in your heart of hearts. I read once that a daughter is a little girl who grows up to be a friend.
No.
And it gives my heart a thrill to even say it aloud.
It's like her whole worldview is from books.
Oh, isn't she lovely? What's her
Well,
name?
she's been through a lot, like we've seen.
That's, Mary.
That's a beautiful
She
horse.
doesn't have a name? Her name is Belle, and I am sure we'll be great friends.
He doesn't know how to deal with this kid.
Mare.
He didn't take that name on then, did he?
Bye, tree!
Pine tree. Bless her.
That cherry tree is my first friend here on the island. I never expect to be a bride myself. I'm so homely. Nobody would ever want to marry me.
Oh.
Unless he was a foreign missionary. I suppose a foreign missionary mightn't be very particular. I do hope someday.
It's heartbreaking.
Am I talking too much? People are always telling me that I do.
He's not talking enough.
Would you rather I didn't talk? If you say so, I'll stop, although it's difficult.
I don't mind.
Oh.
I'm so glad.
He just hasn't got anything to say as he's in shock. He didn't say a lot to his sister either.
If you have big ideas, you have to use big words to express them, haven't you?
Well, I suppose so.
For example, I am enraptured by this glorious landscape.
Just careful.
I feel like they're like second generation like Irish settlers in America or something. Have I got that right? I have no idea.
Afternoon, Rachel. I put the kettle on. I don't want to interrupt if
It's
you're
the
expecting
gossip.
company. Oh, we've got plenty of time. I took quite a fright when I saw Matthew starting off today.
Oh, it's her at the
Couldn't
window.
imagine what might cause him to leave his crop in the middle of the afternoon. Had there been an emergency? No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't.
She knows something's up.
No. Matthew's gone to the train station at Bright River.
She's thrilled. She's getting the gossip.
We're adopting a boy from the orphan asylum in Nova Scotia, and
Thought
he's
you were.
arriving today. If you had told me that Matthew was meeting a kangaroo from Australia, I couldn't be more surprised. An orphan boy? What on earth put such a notion into your head? A risky thing, that's what.
Why? Because they're mistreated, maybe? Like it's a risk. This is going to sound awful, but like it's a risk when you... I'm thinking of how they would think back then. When you adopt a dog, for instance, from a shelter, you don't know how it's been treated, right? Is that why? Is that how they think? Maybe.
What color would you call this?
Red, isn't it?
Yes, I can't be perfectly happy. Nobody could who has red hair. It's my lifelong sorrow.
Tragic, her life. The way she sees it.
I was reading in the paper how a man and his wife took an orphan boy out of the asylum. He set fire to their home at night.
Is that what they call orphanages? Asylums?
Set it on purpose, Marilla. And they nearly burned to a crisp in their beds.
Yeah, that was the worry, right? Okay. It's terrible.
Matthew is getting on in years and his heart's been bothering him. The boy will be a great help. He's from Nova Scotia. Well,
Oh.
there is some comfort in that, knowing he's not some London street Arab or some French ruffian.
What?
If he burns Green Gables down, I'll put strychnine in the well.
Yeah, that's the name of the house, right? Or the farm?
And the whole family died in fearful agonies. Only it was a girl in that instant. Well, we're not getting a girl.
About that.
I shall always call it the White Way of Delight.
Oh no, I hope they're not going to mistreat her.
I shall call it. Let me see.
She's renaming everything.
Shining Waters. Yes, that's the right name for it.
Won't work when it's overcast.
Things ever give you a thrill?
I don't rightly know.
Well, there has to be something.
I suspect nothing does the way he's been.
No, ugly white grubs.
Well, I suppose I can imagine that.
Each
I
to their own.
hate the look of them. I like to be rid of them.
I suppose I gave Mrs. Hammond a thrill then. She was happy to be rid of me after her husband died.
Oh, that's why she left that place, okay.
Sure seems to make some people angry when they have so many children. Mr. and Mrs. Hammond were certainly vexed all the time.
Oh, we're going to go back again.
Listen, teacher.
Yeah. Holy shit. Oh, this is where he dies. Oh, he deserved it, mate. Oh, look, she's so worried for him. She's just been spanking her. Wow, it's another horrific thing to witness. Although it's a good thing, I think.
I was startled by the geese, all. Don't you just love them? The geese. I do. They're a very romantical
Here
species
she goes
of
again.
bird.
Romantical.
Did you know they mate for life?
That word.
They choose each other out of all the other geese in the
Yeah.
world, and they stay together.
They're not the only bird that does that.
Well, we're pretty near home. Just another mile or so.
He's counting down the miles.
Home. What a wonderful word.
I'm hoping it is like a home for her. I'm really hoping so. Horrific so
Green
far.
Gables. I've pinched myself so many
Beautiful
times
house.
today. Every little while, this
Yeah, I've
horrible,
noticed that.
sickening feeling would come over me, and I'd be so afraid that this was all a
Ah,
dream.
I see.
Green Gables is real, and we're home.
The way. Oh no. Is he thinking that he's gonna have to let her go or something? I really hope not. Like she said, she's strong. She can help around the place. Absolutely beautiful setting. My heart's bleeding for this little girl. Oh no, don't be wicked to her. She can reveal that she was expecting a boy now, isn't she?
Matthew Cuthbert? Who's that? Where is the boy?
It's only her.
No
Oh
boy?
no.
But there must have been a boy. We sent word to Mrs. Spencer.
I had to bring her home. She couldn't be left there.
She's got to go back.
You don't want me. I should have expected it. I might have known nobody
she
would
don't
really want me.
I feel like she's worthless.
For heaven's sake, child. What do you make of this?
At least give her a trial.
She's traveled a long way to be disappointed.
Well, she shouldn't be
Yeah.
here.
He seems nice. Gotta put your foot down here, mate.
Enough of this foolishness.
Yeah, she's like disassociating now. It's even more heartbreaking
Little
when you know
girl.
this kind of thing happened, right?
Little girl.
Orphans. Still probably does.
There's been a mistake is all. We're not going to turn you out of doors tonight. What is your name?
I won't be here long enough for you to remember.
You will mind your manners and answer the question.
Holy shit.
Please, call me Cordelia.
Is that your name?
Expecting it to be
Or
Anne.
Penelope.
Oh, okay.
Is your name, child?
Anne with an E.
Couldn't you call me either of those?
I see. She wants to be someone else, I guess.
My name is Anne. Please spell it with an E when you speak it. Anne with an E looks much more distinguished.
Very well, then.
When you speak it.
Anne, with an E. Get yourself up now.
Literally. Okay. Tell you what, you have to be tough as a kid back in these days. Today's kids wouldn't last 5 seconds.
This is a lovely home.
Oh.
Why didn't you tell me at the train station that you didn't want me? Why didn't you just leave me there? If I hadn't seen the white way to the light or the lake of shining waters, this wouldn't be so hard.
What on earth does she mean?
It almost feels like she's manipulating them, but she's not, right?
I put the mare in.
But
Like, I wouldn't even be surprised. It wouldn't be a bad thing because she's just desperate, right?
Lay it and your bag on the bench.
But Mrs. Spencer said distinctly that you wanted a girl about my age, and the matron thought that I would do.
We want a boy to help Matthew with the farm work. A girl would be of no use to us. Do you understand?
I'm as strong as a boy, and I prefer to be outdoors instead of cooped up in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Girls can do anything a boy can do, and more. Do you consider yourself to be delicate and incapable? Because I certainly don't.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Anyway, since I'm here now,
Bit
will you
confrontational.
consider it?
I could not.
She's smart, this girl.
Let's get you washed up for supper.
I really hope she softens her up. I really do. Eventually. It'll take a while, I think.
What's happened here?
That was from the pinching.
I was pinching myself a lot today to prove that this was all true.
Even that didn't soften her up. Holy shit. She's a hard woman, this one.
Well, you're not eating at all.
I'm in the depths of despair. Can you eat when you're in the depths of despair?
I've never been in the depths of despair, so I can't say.
A big lump comes right up into your throat, and you can't swallow anything.
Oh.
Not even if it was a chocolate caramel.
Oh.
I had chocolate caramel once 2 years ago, and it was simply delicious.
Oh.
I hope you won't be offended that I can't eat.
I guess she's just tired.
Best put her to bed.
Put it down to that tiredness, sure.
Fetch your bag and follow me.
Oh, I had a caramel once 2 years ago. I didn't even know caramel was a thing back then. I'm starting to think now then it's between 1890 and like
Undress.
1910
Quick as you can. Get to bed.
actually. Imagine, like, her life we know already, but imagine how scared anyway you'd be and frightened and... Oh, horrific. Well, maybe she's going to soften her up. She's fighting it, isn't she?
Good night.
Oh,
How can you call it a good night when
God,
you
kid.
know this must be the very worst night I've ever had?
you were out of there. You laid it on too thick now. Aw. I think she's genuine though. It does kind of feel like she's going OTT with it though, like deliberately, but I don't think so. I feel like she's just spent so much time like in solace with books. Like I said, it's like an escapism. But that's how she speaks.
One of us will have to drive over and see Mrs. Spencer tomorrow, that's for certain. The girl will have to be sent back.
Oh no.
Yep, I suppose so.
Do you suppose so?
Seems a pity. She's so set on staying.
Matthew Cuthbert, do you mean to say you think we ought to keep her?
Yeah.
No,
Oh my god, this guy's so onto the thumb.
I should say not.
Throw some balls, dude.
we might be some good to her.
I
Yeah.
believe that child has bewitched you.
Where's your
I can
compassion?
see it plain as plain. You want to keep her.
What we saw a glimpse of it a
She's a
second
real
ago.
interesting kind of person.
Yeah, he's very intrigued, isn't he? As am I.
She can talk fast enough and is nothing in her favor.
I don't mind the conversation.
Yeah, he's quite content listening, wasn't he?
I could hire a boy.
Is she scared that she'll get attached or something?
She could be company for
I'm
you.
not suffering for company.
Right. Oh, that makes sense.
Well, now,
Maybe.
yeah. Just as you say. Of course.
So I guess the bachelor, the brother, would it be her, like, stepbrother then? If they
Going to bed.
bring in another kid, a boy? I can't remember what that description said now. God, my memory's so bad. I really think she feels for this girl and she's scared about having feelings for her. I hope so. Anyone deserves a good life, it's this little girl. Couldn't be doing with that every morning. As beautiful as this place is, I'll set my own alarm, thanks. I suppose back then, with the work to do, you've got to get up as soon as sun rises.
Had I a book, I would press these sacred blossoms between its pages, forever reminded of this treasured moment. I, Princess Cordelia,
Oh, it's a character, is it?
shall cherish this gift.
Cordelia. It's Cordelia in the last show I just reacted to, Buffy.
This was my sacred chamber, high in a tall stone spire.
Never mind your chatter.
Sorry. I've also been wishing with all my might that you'd tell me that you decided that I could stay.
Pack that inside and come downstairs.
Yeah.
We're driving to see Mrs. Spencer after breakfast.
Oh, you hard, cruel bitch. Surely not. I mean, clearly, she's going to stay, right? Surely. I'm just going to pack her off. I'm starting to think maybe, because, like, this could be a kind of another example of how hard it is for her, but I don't think so. Oh, she's taking... Oh my god. It said something about heartbreaking or pulling the heartstrings or something in the description. Oh no. Gonna get me this show for sure. Oh, she's like gonna miss every corner of this house. Taking it all in. Is that her kids or is that them as young kids?
Put that down at once.
I wasn't gonna steal it.
Did you take anything?
No,
Well, flower.
I was only memorizing.
Let me see.
Oh no. It's only flowers, come on. Get fucked. No, it's fine with that.
Stop your snooping and come to breakfast.
She's taking it off her. Okay. potpourri back in the day.
I'm glad it's a pretty morning, so we won't be driving back in the rain. That would be extremely difficult to bear. It's all very well to read sorrowful stories and imagine yourself living through them heroically, but it's not so easy when you're actually woeful, is
Oh,
it?
for pity's sake, hold your
Holy
tongue.
shit.
You talk entirely too much.
Yes, ma'am.
Entirely too much. Oh, you got to speak up, dude.
Just so as you know, I sent word to see if that French boy is available through harvest.
Gracious me.
I can milk a cow and split wood.
She's going to do it for him.
I can wash clothes, iron, and so many other things. There's
Yeah,
no
prove
end to what I
yourself.
could accomplish just given the chance. I will take care of these dishes.
Why not just give her a trial? Like,
Use both hands.
yeah, she knows.
Only kin is kin.
I don't want her. I'm moving my sisters and I got no reason to take her.
I'm sorry, but we're overcrowded as it is.
I don't need another mouth to feed.
Haven't I been of help to you? Please don't leave me here.
You're not kin.
Oh, I see. You just said that, right? Oh, that's triggered that memory. I think we're going to see a lot of triggers, actually.
I'm so sorry. Nothing's broken.
No.
I was never going to keep you.
Give it a rest.
I'll be back in time for tea.
I didn't say I'd hire a boy to be rid of you. It was in the hopes that you could stay.
Oh.
Thank you.
But put your foot down, son.
You take care now.
He's been bullied by her.
And with an E.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
She's giving me like Wicked Witch of the West vibes from Wizard of Oz.
I think he's lovely. He's ever so sympathetic, and he didn't seem to mind how much I talked.
Unlike you.
I felt he was a kindred spirit as soon as ever I saw him. I've made up my mind to enjoy this drive. It's been my experience that you can nearly always enjoy something if you make up your mind firmly that you will. Of course, you must make up your mind firmly. I believe this is something that you and I have in common.
She's quite confrontational, actually. Maybe she needs that, this lady. She's a bit of a cold, heartless bitch at the moment. She needs bringing down a peg or two, I think. This kid's intelligent enough to do it as well.
Seagull. They're the most carefree of all the birds, don't you think?
Fucking huge here. I live on the coast, they're absolutely massive. They'll rob your food. They'll rob your dog if it's small enough.
Do you know of anybody whose hair was red when she was younger, but got to be another color when she grew up?
Oh.
I shouldn't think it likely.
Wait, were there still connotations with witches at this time? Maybe.
My life is a perfect graveyard of buried hopes. Sounds so romantic. As if I were a heroine in a storybook.
You must have gone to school.
Do you think? Self-taught, I imagine.
With so much to attend to, the children, the cooking, the chores, it just wasn't an option.
So how did she get so smart then?
Is there a reason why Green Gables is so secluded?
My family wasn't inclined toward idle chatter.
No one wants to be near this
Do you miss
bitch.
your parents
That's
terribly?
why.
They lived good Christian lives. I can't begrudge God for bringing them home.
I
That's
suppose
an
not.
interesting way to look at it. I thought she would like that.
Why is it you find yourself an orphan?
Well, it happened when I was an infant.
Did her parents not want her? Please tell me that that wasn't the case.
If you can't tell the truth, then I have no time for you.
If you'll let me tell you what I imagined about myself, you'll find it ever so much more interesting.
Oh, she just doesn't want to even confront her past, does she? Oh, she's seriously traumatized, this kid.
They died of a fever when I was 3 months old.
Okay.
So I've been earning my keep for as long as I can remember.
It's not a lie, in a way that's...
I suppose
kind of
I
relieved.
was lucky that I was placed out instead of staying in the asylum. If children are such a burden, then why do people have so many of them?
back then to help out, I guess.
Never have the opportunity
Plus lack of birth control.
to be one.
Wow, that's fucking horrible. Jesus, that was horrific for a kid that young to say that.
Go home! Go home!
Well,
Oh, my Lord.
talks to the animals too. You got to keep her.
Oh, dear Lord.
I'm fine. Here you are.
Oh, at least she's
All
asked her if she's
All
alright.
right, Belle. There is no need to worry anymore, Belle.
She might talk to the animals. She renamed her.
Wasn't that an adventure?
Wasn't it just?
Adventure.
You sure you're all right?
Okay, she's coming round, is she? Oh,
You
is that the
were
first time
very
she's been asked?
level-headed.
If she's
I'm
alright.
used to a ruckus.
Ruckus. She's used to being beat on. I suppose a dog isn't much of a problem.